So, as we know, each week we are bringing in a guest thanks to Westpac and spotlighting what they do not only on the field but off the field as well. So this week we've got Kezie Apps in. She needs no introduction to the game. She is, I hate using the word trailblazer, like I really do, but I feel like she's genuinely one of the OGs who has put in so much time away from footy to be where she is. And she's bit of an older player, but she's got to where she is because of the work that she's put in. And thanks to Westpac this week for allowing us to chat to Kez. Keels, you know her really well from down at Dragons.
Yes, love Kezie Apps. I think a trailblazer definitely, but she's also one of the few players that have been across generations. So she was there when it wasn't
It was amateur?
an opportunity. It was very amateur, and then she's getting the benefits of that hard work now as it progresses. So she's definitely one of the greats of the game already, and she's still got plenty of years ahead. We speak about it a bit in the podcast, but she's definitely playing her best footy, and not only that, she's doing incredible things off the field and one of our really, really good friends.
Yes. Thanks so much to Westpac, bringing the footy all year long, and we are going to spotlight a player every week and, get to know them a little bit more than on the field. Welcome to the podcast, Kezie Apps. Thanks. It's been a long time. I feel like you've been someone who...
I'm pretty sure you've been asking to come on for about 2 years now.
No. Keeley, you asked me when you first did the podcast to come on, and I said, yeah, let me know. And
no,
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Ever wanted that.
Was this nearly 3 years ago?
This was
3 years later.
This was before Koenig even come on.
Well, Koenig was our first guest, and now she's a host. You never know what you're in for. But thank you so much for joining us. You've got Captain's Run today. This is the same as Tiana last week. Captain's Run, and you got the Thursday night game. Let's get straight into it. We're past round one. How'd the body pull up, and how are you feeling? The game against Bronx, obviously.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty tough game. Body pulled up okay, just a bit of a stiff neck. So if I can't look that way, that's why. But no, thank goodness I've pulled up sweet, and we got a short turnaround. We played on Saturday, and we got to back it up on Thursday.
5-day turnaround.
Yeah, and then next week's 10 days. So
that's good.
Cheering.
Yeah,
that's good. You played bit of back row, started at back row and went into lock. Did you play front row as well?
Just pretty much same thing, isn't it? Nearly.
Depends what team.
Not to Koenig. Koenig and I do not play the same. Lock and prop are very different in our team.
Koenig just vomited in her mouth. She's a number 7, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
say that. I wouldn't go that far. Wow.
That was really nice.
Didn't you say you wanted a little stint in the middle, Keeley?
I wouldn't mind it. Anyway, you've done that a lot in your career, I'd say. Do you like playing lock? What's your feelings towards?
I don't mind it. I don't mind being around in the middle and being around the action a little bit more and not having to rely on your half to get you sort of into the game. So, I'm excited.
I feel like it's a tough move to go from back row at the start of the game and then into the middle. Did you end up going off, or did you go back into the
No,
back row?
I played the full 70.
Oh gosh, with the little breather in back row.
Yeah,
only Koenig would know what that's like.
Know. But I'm not in the middle the whole time. So, I didn't mind it, starting back row and then went into the middle and then started in the middle in the second half and then moved back to the back row when...
was that always going to be the plan?
I don't know. To be honest.
Nice to see the game plan.
I just didn't know how many minutes I was going to play in both.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to play both.
Push
I just didn't know how long I was in each. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. You think you're going to get a break, but you don't.
Yeah, I know. Here if you need. But it was actually sweet. It was good to, and obviously first game, you guys probably know too, it was a bit hard. You haven't played in a little while. So after the next couple of games, I think it'll be sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so different with it being in the day too.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
It was really hot up at Queensland, the girls were saying.
Hot. It was
middle of the
warm
day.
up, dry mouth. You're like, fuck, here we go.
I feel
not
like
used to this heat.
You go into the game thinking that you'll be sweet because you've just played 3 of the toughest games, like Origin, and then you play round 1 NRLW, which is just as tough, but during the day it's just something else in the sun.
And now we're going to the nighttime.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
That'll be good.
Thursday night. So Campbelltown freezing, but bring it on.
You've got such a young squad coming through, a young team. Like, I was looking at your team list and like there are so many, I guess, inexperienced players that are coming through, which is exciting, but also it's like, you know, it takes a little while to build up those combinations. Caitlin Turnbull, she's actually one of my cousin's best friends. She comes to our family Christmases. Like, when I saw her play, and I was like, how good's this? When I saw her got a contract, I was so happy for her. She travels up from, she was travelling up from Canberra and making the trip for Harvey Norman all last year. And I'm so happy to see her get a start. What's it been like having a lot of those younger players come through the system?
Yeah, so cool. Especially on Caitlin. I know when we were doing like all those optional sessions at the start of the year, she was driving from Canberra.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
just to
like,
make
I can resonate here.
I was like, I feel you,
Canberra,
girl.
is that it?
Make sure you stretch her out.
Where is the pit stop?
I used to actually hate that drive,
Halfway
so I used to go to the
mark.
coast. No, and especially her on the weekend, she like bent her finger back, and
I heard she wasn't supposed to play.
No.
Like, they were like, are we going to play her? And then we were like, because I was working, they were like, Caitlin Turnbull's gone off in injury with a slice in her finger.
Yeah, it like bent back and split like her top of her finger.
Yeah.
Like here. And like we didn't know, and then all of a sudden, like we're all in the sheds, are like, yeah, no, she's sweet to play. We're like, what happened? Like, half of us
She
didn't
got
know what
5
happened.
stitches on
Yeah.
it.
So what this
Yeah.
top
She
of her
broke
finger
it.
is just like bent
No,
back.
she got scans, didn't even break, but
It was just a
it
slice.
just, I don't know. She must be very flexible.
So what
or
her
something.
finger is looking like that. Like,
Yeah, it was, and then it like, I don't know.
And all
She's
of her
crazy.
family, like my cousin, my auntie, like everyone had, like, because they like, it's like a second family member. They've driven up from Canberra to watch this game too.
Sorry.
Brisbane. Like all the family, they're like, if she doesn't play, no. But so good that she just went after the game. I really feel like in fullback. Sorry, she played a lot of fullback for.
Wenties.
Wenties,
Yeah,
yeah. And then to score that little try on Tamika.
I know, so sneaky.
So sneaky,
That
such a
is-
touchy try.
That is, but also like so good backing herself. I feel
Yes.
like not many people in the NRLW would do that.
Yeah.
And like
For their first game.
Or generally, I think most people would see Tamika and be like
I'm passing.
yeah, probably just go open. But that was like
Yeah.
such a good try and just shows how much confidence she has. And I feel like she's gonna be a really good player for you guys.
Yeah, I know. And that was her first game at league.
Yeah.
Like
Of
leading proper.
NRLW, yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty special for her. But yeah, just our whole squad. Like
Yeah.
we've got like so many. We have 14 new girls in our squad.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that until a couple of weeks ago. I was like, holy hell! Like, I
like
knew
your
we had
whole-
lots of new girls, but there was a
Your
lot.
whole back line is completely
Yeah.
new from last year.
Yep.
You've obviously lost like
Rakia,
Rakia.
How dare Rick be pregnant?
Yeah.
Actually, just on Rakia.
Oh my god, isn't she just?
How the hell is she? I'll see her videos. She's training. She's like 27 weeks with twins doing like field sessions. I'm like, I actually want to like, my hips are breaking just looking at her. Like,
Yeah.
how's she been?
She was still doing the 1.2. Like, she's insane. Like, just, I was like, you don't have to do that, you know? But like, yeah, she's still getting like under 6 minutes and shit like that. Oh, sorry. No,
That's
right.
right. You've already swore 3 times.
Have I?
Charlie's gonna have to.
I'm
beep
so
it out.
sorry. No, kidding. Shit, Charlie. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, she's just next level. Like it's so, like it's just amazing to see. Like she's still like, and then doing field sessions, and then once we get finished field, we go back to the gym and we see her in there doing little weights and
Yeah.
like all
Little
this,
weights,
all
110 kilos squat.
Pretty sure she's
Little
front
weights.
squatting 100 kilos, which none of us could do not pregnant. Like, she's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's next level. She's like a semi-Bremner. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
crazy.
Imagine when she comes back, double.
Yeah, well, apparently you've told me about this, but
Well, Sammy told me, and Corbs.
so it gets around. Apparently, once you have a baby, you get like superhuman strength.
Yeah.
And like you have this, like it's genuinely a thing where you get extra hormones because you've just had to go through like something really horrific, like push out a baby. So then like you have this extra level of strength and mental toughness. That's why like a lot of females are really good with like ultra running and things like that because they've got that extra
Makes
up
sense,
here.
doesn't it?
So imagine
Twins.
twin. Yeah. Is that
Double. I wonder if it's a.
second baby probably just goes out a bit easier, you know? It's
Not too sure.
Anyway, I don't know either.
Kez, you've obviously been playing for quite a long time, but you didn't start for so long.
I was going to say, Keeley's probably played the same amount of years as me.
Yeah, but like,
Honestly.
I know, but
She's-
for
was like
poor you,
12.
she was 12 when you were like 20. So tell us about when you started playing footy, like how old were you when, just forget all the stuff before, but like when you started playing?
Yep. So I started playing when I was 23.
23.
Yeah.
For
That is
like,
crazy.
yeah, so that was for
Helensburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What year was that? Sorry.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played. Yeah. Well, there wasn't obviously wasn't comps down home where I was from, and even at that stage there was no comps in Canberra.
Yeah.
I was trying to search that up.
It was all like OzTag or like
union. Yeah. So league wasn't really a big thing there. So
Yeah.
the only comp was in the Wollongong in the Illawarra
Yeah.
comp. So so I played for Helensburgh.
Yeah.
Drove up to Helensburgh and started playing up there.
And what year did you debut for New South Wales?
That same year, so
2014.
2014. But that like at that time, like I had no idea how to get anywhere or any rep teams. Like there was no like clear vision on how to make teams. Like it was literally like
Be at the right place, right time.
It honestly was. Like
Play as
I
much
think I
footy.
played like 2 games for Helensburgh and they picked an Illawarra team, and then from there we played like a little round robin in Sydney against like all different Sydney teams, and that was the year that Matt Head was the New South Wales coach, which obviously I didn't know at the time, but he was there scouting that competition.
That's crazy.
It was just like a little round robin. It was like you'd verse people. I remember I didn't remember because I watched the footage of it like a couple of years later. But the team because our Illawarra team made the grand final, and the team we were playing was like a Mounties sort of team. Like Mima was in it, Ness, Foliak. Like there was so many of those
OGs.
girls. Yeah, like Eliana. Like I didn't know obviously them at the time, but then we ended up winning that grand final, and after that they had like an announcement of the New South Wales extended squad.
Yeah.
Like just like the old school.
That is
like,
so old school.
Yeah, like
school stuff.
yes, so you'd
yeah.
be standing around and like they'd announce
read
the
it
team.
off a
Yes,
piece of
honestly, that
paper.
was what it was like, and we had no idea that was going to happen then, and then I ended up getting player of the tournament.
Yeah.
I
wonder if I'll make
just
it.
throw that one out there. And made the New South Wales extended squad.
Wow.
So,
And this was before it was called State of Origin.
Yeah,
Like there was no
interstate
State of
challenge.
Origin.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing something your mum must have put on like
probably
Facebook.
she loves Facebook.
And like Jock went up, like
Yeah.
all your friends and fam went up to watch you, and they're like,
I had like a shoe squad.
yeah,
It was the best.
yeah, and you had had the pom poms and the signs. It's so cool.
This
Like
was my first little rep sort of thing. So
Yeah.
they all
Kez, what made
got around
you like choose league and like go look for league instead of playing union? And also, did you know that the rep scene was like achievable or like
Yeah.
there?
So obviously growing up in a rugby league family, I got 2 older brothers and they played rugby league. So it was sort of, instilled in me. And I played obviously junior rugby league for Bega Roosters, and then I had to stop because I was a girl. And then I played union through school. Or one of our teachers there was heavily loved union. So he literally
Scott Harris.
shout out to
Shout
Mr.
out,
Harris. So I played union through school.
Did you
and-
play much at school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we actually like went really well.
Yeah.
I think it was like year 12 though by the
Yeah.
time I was
What
playing.
position did you play in
Um,
union?
Fly half.
You were the 10.
Yeah.
Surely not.
No, I was. I was
I was like second row playing.
I was well, because
Ball player.
I don't know, I feel like I was the only sort of one
who could like, pass the ball.
understood footy a bit.
Yeah.
Even though it was union. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I somehow got that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually went really well, and we played different schools, and we made it all the way to the grand final and got rolled by like a union sport.
Usually
school.
Sarah Redfern. They were
It
always
was
the 10.
that was amazing. Like we were like the whole like if you get tackled, we were like there like crouching around and then wait for the ball to get out. Where they were like second phase play, get down,
Pushing
throw it,
off,
like
yeah.
it was crazy. But they flogged us. But yeah, we made it all the way to the grand final, which was crazy.
For New South Wales, yeah.
And then I actually went to Canberra and played a bit of for Brumbies. Travelled up there and played through school.
Rugby
which was
union.
So-
really random.
Back to league. When you're older, like what did you see something that you're like, oh, there's league opportunities? Like
Yeah,
what got
so
you back into league after
I
that?
started playing league tag. for the
yes.
Bega Roosters. They used that come into Group 16 in 2011, I think it was.
That's really early for league tag because
Yeah.
I feel like even in Illawarra, where league's massive, Oz tag, things like that, they didn't come into like 2016.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Group
League
16,
tag.
we're
ahead of the game, you know.
Yes, that's sick.
Yeah, so we started playing league tag down there, and then I was playing that for a couple years, and obviously fell back in love with rugby league because in like other time I was like, I knew like I wanted to play, but we weren't able to. I wanted to be a boy so I could play, and seeing the success of like someone like Dale Finucane who we played juniors together.
Yeah,
like,
you were teammates all throughout.
yeah. So like obviously like was really proud of him and just following his journey. So it was pretty cool to see how far he got. But then like playing junior footy, knowing that like you were like one of the best players down there. Like, oh, if I was a boy, like I could be playing first grade footy too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't till 2013 when the Jillaroos won the World Cup over in England. I had no idea that they existed, and it was like I was watching TV.
How messed up is that? Like you genuinely didn't, you love footy so much, but you had no idea that was even a
No one knew anything about women's
Yeah.
rugby league. Like it literally was
bloody
nothing.
bigger, eh?
Well, not even bigger, like the whole world. Like
anywhere.
And I
No social media.
it was like a little
nothing.
snippet, like I'd tell you, it was like 10 seconds of them singing like this team song and like a bit about them beating New Zealand for the first time ever.
What was this on the news?
On the news, like yeah, I know,
10
but it was like
seconds snippet
literally
of them
like
winning the
and I was
World
like, yeah, it was like nothing, like not even anything. And then I was like, ooh, like what the hell? Like so I grabbed my laptop and I was literally Googling women's rugby league, and I was like looked at Jillaroos and watched some of their games, and I was like, I could do that. Like that's what I want to do. And then like that's when I started finding out, like I was looking at Canberra, seeing if there was any Canberra competitions. There was none. And then I kept like, Googling just women's rugby league, and then Helensburgh kept popping up, and I was like, where the hell is Helensburgh? I had no idea where Helensburgh was. They'd won like so many like premierships for the Illawarra comp. And then I like literally found a number and called them up, and I was like, hey, this was like in like legit, I saw that in like the July of 2013, and this was probably like August, September, because I've been doing so much research. There's no information on women's rugby league. I rang like the manager, and I was like, hey, like Kerry Blackwell. It was honestly,
Shout out Kerry
it was honestly
Blackwell.
Kerry. I was like, hey, like how do I try out? Like how do I try out to play
This is crazy.
to play footy? And she goes, no, just turn up. I was like, okay, like when do you train? Like, and she's like, oh, not till next like March or something. I was like, oh. And then like that had come
8
around.
months away.
Yeah, it was so
She's
far
been
away.
practicing in her backyard for 8 months.
And then I started like I hadn't trained. I didn't know how to train because I wasn't really like I think I weighed like nearly 90 kilos then. Like I wasn't fit. I was like so lazy, and anyway. And then sorry.
Don't talk about weight in front of Keeley. She fat shames people.
She wanted to say something, but
Yeah, I know, I was
Keep
waiting
going.
for it, yeah.
Keep going.
You're a little cheeky monkey, don't you worry. Talk about your butter stories.
Let's keep him beer afloat. Thank you.
And then, so like sort of March came around, and then I'd be like messages saying like, because obviously I live so far away. It's like from Bega to Helensburgh was like back then, because before all the roadworks. I saw a lot of roadworks. It was literally 5.5 hours to drive there. So Kerry'd be like, oh, like don't worry about coming tonight. Like not many girls are coming. I was like, oh God, I just want to go up to my first session. And then finally, it was probably like April or something, I got to go and have my first session, and they're like, oh, what position do you play? And I was like, oh, like thinking about when I played when I was younger. I was like, oh, I used to play in the centres. And then they looked at me, they're like, front row. You're playing front row. Yeah, so that's sort of how I sort of got into it. Then I just used to, travel to Helensburgh every week to play.
that's crazy. Okay, if you didn't get the opportunity to play footy, what do you think you'd be doing?
Footy doesn't exist.
Yeah, what were you doing
that-
before
you never even-
you were that
you never
girl
Googled.
down in Bega?
I
never
probably
Googled
have
the
like 10
Jillaroos.
kids and living on a farm, if I'm honest. Look, I always wanted to play sport, and I loved sport growing up, and through school I played any type of sport I could. So I loved basketball, so maybe I would have tried basketball. Probably not, but I don't know. I would have been involved in sport somehow, because it's just, I don't know. I loved
What
it
was
so
it?
much.
I remember seeing you walk, like I'd be like down we didn't obviously go to school at the same time, but we
Were you
both
like
went
year
to
seven,
Bega
I was in year
High.
12?
Obviously.
No, we never went.
Oh, we
were-
just missed out. You were probably in year 6 or something.
I was
Anyway.
probably in year 4. When you were in year 12. But I remember like going down, getting a lunch pass, and you'd be like, and because Kezie was like, not only she's saying she was good at sport, but she was so good at hockey. Like you were a gun at hockey. Do you
loved
forget
hockey.
about that?
Well, I wasn't like that good though, because like I never made any like rep
Oh well,
teams.
compared to anyone in Bega. That's real. But you know, and your brothers were playing, and the Apps family, they're very big down home, the Apps family. So and Kezie's like sticks out like a sore thumb because she's 6'5". I'd see you walking like across the like in the mall down in Bega, and you'd have your pencil skirt on. What job were you doing?
Oh.
And I'm like, that's Kezie Apps.
So when I finished school, I literally finished my year 12 exams, and a full-time position came up at an insurance broking agency.
That's what it was. It looked like something along those lines.
Yeah, so my mum was like, Kezie, like get your resume ready. Like full-time jobs don't come very often in Bega. Like put your resume in. So I was like, okay, mum. So I literally put my resume in, and then that same day they were like, oh, can you stay around for an interview? And I was like, okay. So I got interviewed.
This is so Bega.
And then they're like, can you start on Monday? This was like the Friday or something. I was like, I've just finished my exams. Can I have at least like a week or two before
Can I have a gap a week?
Yeah. I didn't even go on like schoolies or anything. And then I literally
crazy. That's
started.
sad. Thanks, Dawn.
I literally started like the December. So straight after
didn't
my
even get
exam.
summer.
I didn't even get anything. Started full-time work in Bega as insurance, like a receptionist at a insurance broking agency. And I stayed there for a pretty long time. 18 till I was about maybe, I don't know, 24. 20.
So until like footy started
footy,
to take
yeah.
over more.
And-
So
and-
you reckon you would have climbed the ranks at the insurance?
I actually didn't mind it,
brokering
to be
place?
honest. It was really like challenging in a way that clients would come in and want you to go and help them find insurance, and I was like, sweet. So you'd like jump on these computers and like find them like car insurance, house, like whatever it might be, but you try and find them the best deal and go back to them and let them know like these are the prices. And
That sounds fun.
It was so fun. And then like you put them together. So they were really great too when I started playing footy. So I would start work an hour early and work like an extra hour each day for 5 days, and then the next week I'd do the same, but I'd finish on Wednesday to then I could travel up Thursday to make training, and then stay until like Friday, play Saturday, then come home after the game. And so I'd work like that for a long time.
Oh my God. These kids
That
coming
is
through,
wild.
they just don't
They got no idea.
They got no idea.
Can I say though, you're the type of person, Kezie, I feel like you'd be genuinely like every job and be good at it. Like we worked together for a couple of years down at the Dragons. We were in the community team, and I feel like you were so good at that too. Like we would go out to schools and do little presentations and talks, and I'd be done by like.
Was Keeley like nervous as to talk in front of the kids?
No, she
No,
just had
actually
no
wasn't.
patience.
I had no patience. I'd be like,
If you don't want to be here, just sit down.
what would you prefer to be doing, maths or playing sport right now? And the kids would be like, maths. And I'd just be like, go then. Like, I'm not,
Keeley's like 4 years older than them.
but you were genuinely so good at that, and I feel like you loved it as well.
I did. I loved what they did there and working in primary schools. I really loved the primary school kids. Only because I feel like they listen.
They do not listen. Are you serious?
Maybe it's the presenter. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
it's because Kezie's looked like an adult and you still look like
Maybe because I was so tall.
Because are you doing high schools now?
Yeah. So with Tigers, they're aimed at more high schools, and obviously depends on the group of kids. They're generally really good, but high school kids are just different these days, aren't they? Like obviously, I know when I was in high school, but I loved when people came in and listening to all their stories. But high school is definitely different to primary schools. Primary schools, they just like froth everything. Like they love, and they join in. Like when you have sport, like it's really hard to get some high schoolers joining in on sport because they're too cool or things like that. But I never had that problem. I was never too cool. I was one of the boys.
Kez, congratulations on your new deal you've just signed, extending for 4 years at the Tigers. I was like, is she going to go back to the Dragons? Is she going to stay at the Tigers? It's so cool to see. And obviously Westpac bring us this podcast, and you're here and we get to chat about more about the players behind the scenes and what they do on and off the field. So it's so cool to see their support, in our game, that we can now have things like 4-5-year deals moving forward. That just offers that security. Like, how does it feel to be able to play for the next 4 years and know that, everyone goes through peaks and ups and downs in their footy, but I genuinely think you're playing your best bloody footy right now, which is so cool to see. And I know, you are a little bit older, but do you feel like that doesn't really, how does your body feel and what do you reckon about the extension?
Yeah, obviously very grateful for the extension, especially that Tigers see that value in myself, especially for 4 years, given my age. But I feel because I started so late,
yes,
we're not like the men where they play from under sixes all the way through till, they're my age.
Preserved a good amount of time there. Genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like, obviously, as I said, because I started so late, I didn't bash my body too much too early. And then obviously our competition at Illawarra, we'd have one hard game every so often. The hardest games you'd play would be obviously Origin and Jillaroos. So the early days of my career weren't too strenuous as they are now for NRLW and things like that. But I think as you get older too, you train a little bit smarter and you've got
I love it. Is this your exact pitch to the Tigers? Guys,
this is
I'm feeling really good.
This was my resume for them. No, I don't know. I guess being in that professional system for a bit longer as well, and the more time you get to be in that space and be coached and trained under, high quality strength and conditioning coaches and things like that. I don't know. I feel like I just feel great. I feel like the best I've felt in forever. But I say that every year, so I don't know.
And staying with the Tigers, you're in there at the moment, obviously. What made you want to stay with them for the next 4 years?
Yeah, obviously a few things. I love the club and the opportunity that they did give me, 3 years ago when I first moved there. And the group of girls that we have and the things like that, I feel like, I don't know, I just see so much potential in them and I just don't want to leave just because I don't feel there's any reason for me to leave the Tigers, and just the things that they've done for me personally and just how the belief that they have in me as a person too. I just couldn't, let them down as well. I'm bad at that as well though. I'm bad at not wanting to let people down. So it was really hard for Dragons, especially obviously Semi being back down there and having a lot of conversations with her and feeling like I'm letting her down. But obviously she's the wonderful person that she is, and she's so beautiful. She understands and things like that. So, but yeah, just what we've got going at Tigers is really special, and I didn't want to let them down, and I really wanted to build on what we've created, and hopefully see a lot of success in the next couple of years. And the pathways that we do have the girls coming through is just amazing.
It's incredible. Hey, I was obviously involved with Tashkal this year, and we versed the Tigers in the semi-final. And some of those girls in that team, incredible.
Yeah.
And they'll be playing in the next couple of years. Probably some are already in your squad. I know the lock was really good. But, definitely I can see that with the Tigers. Their juniors coming through, really, really strong.
Yeah.
Away from footy, you work still with the Tigers community team, but what are some of the things you like to do off the field to just switch off? I know you were getting into your photography a little bit at one stage.
Yeah, I've been bad at that.
But what are some other things that you just, switch off with?
At the moment, I'm doing my wellbeing course.
Oh, nice.
So that's been...
Actually, sorry, on that, okay, Kezie, you are the funniest person on that wellbeing course. In camp, she had an AirPod in 24/7. We were about to go out on stage getting presented. She's going with her AirPod in. Hey guys, I'm just about to go up on stage. I'll come back on later.
Is this just before Origin?
This is when the team was getting announced. And mind you,
at the Opera House.
So she was saying if she doesn't stay on the Zoom, then she gets failed or something like that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she goes, actually wild.
Who runs this?
Just about to go on stage, goes off for 2 minutes, failed.
Yeah, and they fail her. Genuinely, they had called her name and she's like, guys, I'll be back. And she's
She's
just
tells us the
now.
next day in camp, she goes, so yeah, I failed that course.
It's actually wild. Okay, so
Sorry, who's running that? Like, you can't get a little exemption.
Valerie failed me. So
The whole camp.
Is it true?
It was so funny because
No,
she
it's not
sat there
true,
not talking to
Footy.
anyone for 40 minutes prior because she was on this course.
sorry, guys, I felt so rude. But honestly, because they
Didn't
have
want to let them down.
they have these scheduled Zooms like every Wednesday between like 11 and 1. Like for like 3 weeks in a row, then you have 3 weeks off, 3 weeks in a row. So that's the start of your course. And the Wednesday was the one that we were about to get announced on stage. And I was like, if I don't go
Did
on
you
it.
let them know though?
I did, but if you don't go on it, you got to do a catch-up session by yourself, which is torture. And I have to like video myself doing whatever we're doing in the group. So I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to like make sure I'm on it so then I didn't have to do a catch-up session. I can tick off that I've done it. So anyway, that happened and I was on the Zoom the whole bus ride and then we're in the waiting room and I'm like on the Zoom. Anyway, and then I'm about to go off to walk on stage and I had to like put it like away. And then as I've gone, finished that and I'm like, we're mingling. I was like, shit, I got to jump back on this Zoom.
Oh my God.
It cancelled the call and I was like, oh well, like I've and then I tried to jump back on and it didn't really work. Anyway, because I missed out on 20 minutes of the Zoom out of the 2 hours, they were like,
You failed.
Oh, but
my
no,
God.
to their credit, I rung them up and I said, like, this is my situation. Like, and then they worked it out. So that was sweet. But then the next week was captain's run.
Oh,
I swear to
my
God. This girl, I
on the
swear to
So
God.
I had to like quickly finish captain's run, like we finished quite early, and then jump on this Zoom for the next 2 hours. But anyway, I've
Origin
finished all my Zoom.
captain's
Origin captain's run.
She's like, see you guys. Quickly get
Sorry,
on
I'm
there.
not being rude, but I'm just on a Zoom.
Oh my.
But
Anyway, so how's the course going?
The course is going really well. Yeah, all the Zooms are done. So it's just now the assignments. There's like 1,000 assignments I got to do. But that keeps me busy
Yeah.
outside of footy.
Is that something you think you'll go into
Well,
post footy?
yeah, well, 'cause-
well-being side of it.
Yeah, because obviously I've been around a while. I haven't really done any study or anything. So I haven't literally studied since school, which
Yeah.
is a little while ago. And because of NRL, how good they are with the grants and stuff to help you get some education, I thought I may as well like
Use
do
it,
something.
yeah.
And then if coaching isn't something that I end up enjoying, I've got something else to fall back
Yeah.
on. So, and it's good to know and have that in the back of my back
for
pocket
sure.
as well. So
Keels, you're a coach and you want to do coaching.
Yeah.
So she might need a
full time
wellbeing
down the
officer.
track.
I will, but
can you know the characteristics and what it takes to be a coach, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And you fancy yourself a good coach. What about
heard that too.
Kezie? Nice girl, Kezie.
No, I'm
do
too
you
nice.
think she would be a good coach, or maybe just
Or where do you
critique
see
her a little bit?
Where do you see her in the
strengths
in
and
your
weaknesses?
squad?
definitely
She
well-being.
usually-
I would love you as our well-being staff
about
member.
coach?
Coach-wise, you could be the figurehead and have like really good assistant coaches under you with the X's and O's.
You just turn up to the meetings.
she wants herself.
No, she's a
I
head
wouldn't want to
coach.
work.
sorry.
with
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm also a figurehead. But no, I can definitely see you doing well-being.
Yeah, thanks.
In the side of photography.
Don't bang me out about that because I actually I've told Jess this. Anyway,
Jess said just
I'll tell my
FYI.
business idea offline.
What? No,
She's
go.
gatekeeping.
Yeah, because I don't want to tell you my business idea because you'll probably keep it.
Yeah, actually, because Keeley, I will just say this about Keeley. We talk about what we would be if we weren't playing footy. And like footy's, you're not even allowed to have a leg up from footy. So it's like purely just what would you be on your own merit? Keeley, you know what Keeley says? An entrepreneur. We're like, yeah, but like doing what? She's like, inventing stuff. Like that doesn't count unless you're an entrepreneur
Braids
of
and
something.
bits.
She'd be in debt.
Close, but that's
was
not
it?
it. I'm
In
not telling ya. Anyway,
You're on the YouTube bandwagon way before.
I know.
Before it's time.
About 20, what year would that be? 2011, I was on YouTube. Anyway,
That is
it's
crazy.
not about me, but only entrepreneurs know what entrepreneurs do. I don't really want to explain myself to people who don't get it. Anyway, back to you, Kezie. Back to you. It's not about me today.
Are you sure?
You want me to pick up? Yeah, okay, sweet. All right, so we go into round 2. It's week 2 of Try July. I thought we could start off with something a bit fun. We saw some awesome try celebrations. Did you see any favourites? Were you practicing one if you got a little meaty?
Nah, not me. I like
Even for charity?
I like Canberra. I like Canberra's like
Oh my God,
It was
iconic.
so funny.
That is hilarious.
It was so good. But do you know, I was trying to find that. Nobody reposted it because it was like, oh, a woman's milking their breast or whatever. So like it was nowhere on any of like the pages. Then I Googled it and it was like Daily Mail, this horrific try celebration.
That's great.
No, I know. And I'm like, of course they turned this into something ridiculous. Like it was such a big ups to Canberra Milk. And
Yeah, I
also
love
she's
it.
living on the farm now. She's such a farm gal, Sophie
Yeah.
Holman. I thought it was so
I thought it was
funny.
great.
That
It
was
is
probably my
hilarious.
favourite of the round.
Yeah.
And I loved Quincy's little.
Yeah, the royal
yes.
wave.
Yeah.
That was good.
I actually
Pina
liked
colada.
Daily Cherry Evans one. I want to do that one.
Yes,
Go
you
look at the
should.
post and
That was
be
good.
old.
That was good.
I'm loving the individual try celebrations too. Sometimes it takes a little while to get
Yeah.
the whole team in, and you might have some team ones, and it's like if you've just got to get it done, let's see some more individual ones.
Yeah.
I reckon.
We had a duo one.
Okay.
I like a duo one.
Yeah, we had a duo one. And,
Oh, yeah, you've still got 3 weeks left.
well, when I scored, Keeley was off. So
Oh no, where's she?
going on the
I got
sideline?
so flustered. I didn't know what to do. So I'm so annoyed at myself.
What did you end up doing?
Just took a photo. Very
Oh,
lame.
Still.
Talked a big talk about like, getting around try celebrations, and I come out with that one. So
Okay,
I'm really
but
sorry.
can I just say your try? It literally came from nothing. I'm like, how does she do that? Like nothing was even
Kessa's
on.
really good push.
That's really nice. I love the tip to the forwards. That's nice. The hat off there. But seriously, another touchy try. Slam dunk.
Big
Was
arm,
that
put
the left
down.
arm
I know.
too?
I feel like you're gonna
Left-hand,
do
yeah.
Left
something.
hand, yes.
Shoulder. Oof.
So
I'm
good.
left-handed, so that's like what I would usually do anyway.
Yeah,
You know?
true. I loved Nick Meaney's
Yes.
one.
Yes.
I like that song as well. Like I keep seeing that come
It's all
up in
over my
my
TikTok
newsfeed. I was chatting to Adam about it because he used to play with Nick Meaney at the Bulldogs, and he said he was like always been like quite a pretty quiet guy and just like goes about his own business, but he's really up to date on current trends and TikTok and YouTube. So he was always across stuff. So he was not surprised at all that like that was a little viral thing and it's quite new, but it was just so good. Like,
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite from the names.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so good.
it is good.
It
I
was
love
really
that.
good. I can't wait to see more original ones.
Do you guys
like
have
that.
any? Do you have any ideas?
I have a suggestion. for
We
you.
actually have a lot up our sleeve, but
Keely's relying on duos.
no,
because she doesn't score.
genuinely, like it's when we're on together. So I'm like really fucking annoyed that you
Yeah, I know.
You need to find someone else as
We've
well.
got some
that-
crackers.
Yeah, that can jump in with you.
Yeah.
I know, but I really want to do it with you.
Yeah,
Gills.
we
we
gotta-
practice in our lounge room.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine.
The night before the game, we're in the lounge room practicing.
That was literally, I was speaking to Romy and Meeks and they were like, yeah, the night before our game, we were in the lounge room practicing. It was so shame. But you don't want to, like at the end of the day, it's for charity.
Yeah.
$5,000, like all you have to do is something small.
Exactly.
It goes towards a great,
And you don't want to look stupid and
yeah.
do nothing.
Yeah.
no. And so $100,000 raised. I think there was more celebrations than that, but I think they must be like
We're going to be
just
picky
getting the
with their
best ones.
celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know,
Really?
what's tough is, okay, for instance, Rima, she didn't know if she scored. And, like, that's a hard one. She
Just
actually...
do it. Just do the celebration.
Yeah, I was very reluctant. I was like, she did the chicken dance.
Okay,
Sorry.
so-
I'm like,
Yeah, she was like, I didn't score. Appy actually was with the try assist. She helped put it down. But
But it was still a try.
Yeah, it was a
but she didn't
try.
think at the time it
Yeah.
was.
But I was screaming at her to celebrate because play the part.
Yeah.
But also you do look stupid when you do a try celebration.
And then it gets called back.
It gets called
I
back.
know that's what.
So
So
funny.
Romy did that. Romy Tartzler
Yeah, I was
against
gonna
you
say, there's a
guys, and
couple
they
in
did
our
the
team- in our
Dallas
game.
cheerleaders, like the leg up kind
Yeah.
thing. And then she's like, it was so shame because it got pulled back, and I was like, far out. There goes our celebration. Like,
We can't do that
Actually,
again.
You know what? I actually do want to shout out Titans. Obviously, they
Yes,
got a
they were
late try
down.
and they had a pretty big score against them, but I got a late try and they still celebrate.
But you know what?
look so
Remember the
It looks really
Titans?
sad. But you know what? It's funny about Romy's because they posted her try celebration, and I'm pretty sure they did that to CJ last year, and she did the gritty, and it wasn't allowed.
Yeah,
I think it
the
was funny
gritty.
when they just used that
Yeah.
as a photo anyway.
yeah,
Yes.
no, loved it.
My one for you, Kezie, this can just be a little subtle one for like maybe the podcast, like a little headphone in, like this. Straight to the camera and be like, not many people will know, but we will know.
Oh no.
You like that one?
No, I hate it. Sorry. Yeah. I've got one up my sleeve, but I got to
save it.
Got to get somebody on board with it.
You'll find
You can
someone.
even
Salah.
do a nice little.
Surely Salah.
yeah.
Surely Salah's got like a full choreographed dance ready to go.
I know.
got one
I
of those
want her
drag
to like teach us like something,
Yeah,
like an 8 count maybe,
a little
just
move.
Like
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, been a lot of footy chat, but we're going to keep chatting footy. So obviously we just spoke about round 1. Going to go over quickly the winners of each game before moving on. So we had Sharks v Eels. Very close game. Eels ended up winning, which I think we all tipped Sharks,
18-16. I think the last time
was a
they
good game.
played as well,
Just 2 points.
it was the same but just flipped. So
Yeah.
they've always been quite close in competition. But
Yeah.
I backed Sharks, but I think definitely watching the next night, especially with the Bulldogs, how much they really do miss players like Taylor Preston, Holly Wheeler, just to kind of like glue.
Yeah, well, it's just probably getting used to without those girls in their squad because they've retained a lot of them.
Yeah.
But missing those couple girls might just take them a few games.
Yeah.
But I think for Eels, Rat was really good.
She was amazing.
She was amazing, and I feel like Eels had so much direction from that.
Yeah.
They had a really high completion rate. They were kicking to corners.
Yeah. She was
and
putting
contesting
chips in
their
next to the
kicks.
post.
100%. Rat with like how many 4 line breaks or something.
I know.
Took a chase for itself. She's insane.
Yeah.
Love
Even
that
right
for
at the
her.
end, Elsie Albert with the chase and nearly
Yeah.
scored. I was like, God.
I'm obsessed with that girl. I love Elsie Albert.
We need to get
so
Elsie on.
much. Yeah,
Elsie
we
on the
need
pod.
to get Elsie on. So that was a really good tight game, and awesome. Eels looked really strong.
And they had 5 debutants as well. So they're all
Yes.
stepping up and
yeah,
playing really well. Like, good on them. Good
yeah,
on the
awesome
Eels.
to see so many young girls getting opportunities.
They'll head over to Warriors, to Auckland to play the Warriors this weekend, which will be interesting.
That's awesome. So we got Bulldogs v Knights was the next game. I think.
I got my tip right.
Yeah, you
Bulldogs.
did.
Yeah,
Nice.
good job.
I'm in the lead here.
I think I said.
No, you did not. You said Knights.
I don't know what I said, but no, I did say Knights. I said Bulldogs would come out fast, but
Yeah.
Knights would come away with it. But Bulldogs were just too strong all over.
They had they had 3 middles that ran 200 metres. Andy Robinson was great
was
for them
great.
too.
Okay.
Love
I think
Andy.
for Knights, it's only round 1. So for all the games that were played, it's so hard to tell. But
Yeah.
for Knights, I think the big person that everyone spoke about who they were missing was Tamika Upton. However, they're also missing Leishon, Albert Jones, Hannah Southwell. They're missing Caitlin Johnson, Rima Butler,
I
a
feel
lot of key
like-
players.
Lots of key players, but when they had the ball in their hands, they looked really, really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
and really threatening. There was just a lot of errors in their game,
Yeah.
as there was along in
Abigail
every
Roach,
games.
Abigail Roach as well.
Yeah,
She upset the
exactly.
cows.
Yeah.
So I feel like, once they get a couple games
Yeah.
under the belt, just with all teams, there was a few errors across all games, including ours. Me, but but no, once they hold onto the ball, they actually look really threatening.
Exactly. Like I said, round 1, it's hard to really get a gist. But
Did you
watching
watch-
the new team, it's pretty. You guys were the new team not long ago. Now watching the Bulldogs, I'm surprised how quickly they came together and built those combinations, considering they've had 1 trial game.
Yeah, look, obviously, it was their first sort of hit out for a while, so I guess they'll be on a big high, and obviously a bigger high now after they
You're
won their
saying they're
first
going to hit a
game.
low now?
No, I'm waiting for a low tomorrow night. No, they just did basic stuff really well.
Yeah.
They just ran hard with support.
I think they've
good
just got
kicks.
that doggy mentality,
That
doggy
the
mentality.
club first mentality, and that's why I thought that they would win, because they're just so excited to be in that club and that culture that they the boys.
They
exactly-
look similar. They
Yeah.
portray and give off the vibes of their men's
which
team
looks
right
it
now.
looks fun, and I feel like people play their best footy when they're having fun.
Yeah. Shout out to Pani Hopewadi.
Bunny, yes.
Bunny girl, she killed it.
Off the bench, literally nearly 200 metres off the bench, 3 disallowed tries held up.
Yeah, 3 held up tries. By the third one, she was filthier. She's
Like, just let me play the ball. I know.
Oh gosh, but it's awesome to see her with a big opportunity there and playing big minutes and doing a really good job. She was with us for a couple of years and loved playing alongside her, so she was really good.
We had Tekka on NLW wrap as well.
Oh yes.
Thanks to Westpac. And she was awesome. Like, obviously she played so well.
Yeah.
But then like she came in and was just chatting a little bit about, you know, the club and what's it like. And she played nearly every minute. They took her off right towards the end, which is like, where's the benefit?
Yeah,
you
like,
know?
you just-
But like she killed it, got a try, over 200 metres, but also just, she's always been that type of player. Like she's always done that. She did that at the Dragons. But to do it now with like that direction and players with the same mentality around her, I think like you just feel so good with the way you're playing when everyone else is on that level as well.
Yeah, they've definitely got a strong forward pack. But
Yes.
Andy
Yes.
out the back of that.
You
as well.
see that when they first recruited and you're
Yeah,
like, wow,
fully.
they've got a
Yeah.
really great forward back.
Yeah,
hard for
it's
the
like,
forwards.
I'm excited for this game to be over.
Can't wait to play in the middle.
Is that the plan this week?
Well, obviously, like playing back row again, and
Yeah.
then we'll see if I get a chance in the middle, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
it'll be a good battle.
What were you saying earlier? Like something about Holly Wheeler. Being
She's already messaged me.
Actually, I want to
She
ask
already starts
this,
talking shit.
to 2 back rowers / middles, all right?
That's
Kezie, because you've always said back row is the hardest position.
I've never said that.
No,
in
you've
my
always said
life.
because we play a whole game, you middles get to come off.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Did she?
No, but what she does do is say back rowers are middles. Like,
I do
like,
that.
every time
Let's go
there's a middle
middles.
conversation. She's like, "Yeah, I'm coming." I'm like, "Kezie, you're actually not in the
You're
middle.
an edge.
Sorry, you're a back rower. Get out."
No, I think since playing in the middle, like a couple of years ago, so much respect for middles.
Bit more understanding.
Way more respect. 100%. I won't even lie about that.
Wait until you play hooker.
Well,
Wow.
she's 6'5", so bending down that much,
Actually,
Keely.
you've got a really good service. I will
Thank
say.
you.
She's had to get in there a couple of times, and I'm always like, I can't wait to do this. She fucking nails it. Like, it literally is such good service. It's impressive.
Actually hurts my back anyway. I couldn't do it for a full 70 minutes. But I feel like you in the middle with hooker, you probably get targeted more.
To run out.
Yeah,
Yeah, being run out.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. You'll probably look, I'm going to go to Kezie or Keeley.
Going to Keeley.
Koenig, what about you? Like, you've been playing a fair bit of both lately, mainly middle now.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
What's harder?
Yeah.
It's so.
I think it depends on the game,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly. It depends like who you're playing. Like you can get through so much work in the middle, which is just the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And you're just in a complete washing machine.
Yeah.
But then there's times where if you're on
Getting
the upper
targeted,
hand,
like on that
Yeah,
certain
just getting
edge.
targeted.
Yeah.
then the edge can be really hard if they're
Yeah.
like channeling down your edge. And I feel like you've got to cover a lot more in back row, where middle you don't really have to think. It's just like you think in
Do your
tackle
job.
tech, make sure you win those tackles. Where edge, it's a lot of like
Decision making.
Tactical
yeah,
decision
very
making.
a lot of decision making and helping out your half. So 2 very different,
Yeah.
but also similar. But I think my body has been pulling up really sore after middle a bit lately.
Yeah, because then you're getting the 2 and 3 in on tackles and stuff like that as well.
I'm having to tackle a bit.
You've always made 1,000 tackles
Yeah.
every game. Let's be real. But anyway, continue. I just wanted to
All right, so the next game was your game, Kez, Bronx v Tigers. We spoke about that already a little bit, but
Yeah.
Bronx got the win there.
took a little, like it was took
Grind
like nearly
that
20
first
minutes
20.
for any type of points to come in. So that's, promising.
Yeah,
sides.
look,
Obviously the Bronx are a bloody massive, like
Heavyweights of the comp.
I think they've got like 10 or 11 Origin players. So
Yeah.
like everyone talks about the Roosters. What about the Broncos?
yeah.
Like,
No, there's been a lot of chat about the Broncos and obviously the
with that,
Roosters.
with Tamika going there as well.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, it was a grind. It was a massive grind, and I'm so proud of the girls of how they just kept turning up and that we scrambled really well with try savers and things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, you did.
Holding up Melee Funga like how many times?
Twice, and then that third one, I was like, "Oh, sorry."
I told you, potty now.
Sorry. No, I'm kidding.
Yep, Charlie's
Sorry,
good work cut out today.
No, they were just really tough. But yeah, and it like watching the game back, we was moments in there that obviously it could have changed either way. Like if we got that try or just little moments that could have changed the momentum of the game, or, you know, we kicked the ball dead like twice or three times, like, and they got 7 tackles.
Yeah.
And just little things like that. But, you know, it's our first game as well, and obviously with everybody, and everybody's going to get better and better every time they play together. So, and the more game fitness we all get as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry a lot of confidence, obviously, heading into tomorrow night's game.
Can't wait.
The next game was Dragons v Raiders, and that was a really good game.
Carved up, didn't
I
they?
didn't get to see it.
Yeah. Well, the Dragons have a new coach down there, Crossy, and they played very well suited style to their team, which was really flat and fast and exciting. They got Tegan some early ball, and she just tore them apart really.
They were getting real quick play the balls too. Like they were just fighting for everything.
Yeah.
They were like defensively strong as well. And a player, Indy Bostock, and also Tegan Berry on their right edge, like just carving up poor Z on the, just, you know, defending a little bit wider, and it was like they just got around so easily.
I think it's exciting to see, because I know last year they were flipping between, like, I feel like key positions where like there was always a few changes.
Yeah.
So I feel like this year they've probably had a really solid preseason together.
Yeah.
A lot of security in position, and they look like they're really gelling really well together.
Yeah.
They've got a few young girls like Casey Ray. I'm
Lots of
really
young
excited
girls.
to watch her play, because I know she was flipping around a lot.
Yeah, she played every
Really.
position but half.
I know it's so hard for a young
Yeah.
a young player that's coming into NRLW, like trying to just find your feet in one position, let alone like 3 or 4 and going in between them. So
That are all
I'm
very
really
different.
excited to see her just really solidify her spot in that team.
yeah.
Also having Hannah in there too, like as that ball playing 13, which they probably haven't really had too much of, and because they've got their middles were just doing their job, like to get the ball out for the halves.
Yeah, cool to see Nita come out of retirement.
Yes. I was chatting to
awesome.
Nita like a few months back, and she's like, I told them I'm done, I'm not playing anymore. And then I think Sammy called and was like, come on, Nita, what, you got another year left in you?
You know what? I feel like she was not done. Like,
No.
obviously she felt that she was done, but like outside of looking in, she was still like playing unreal footy.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm so happy to
100%.
Isn't
see
it wild though for females too? Like you could say you're done, but like you can come back. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard. It's going to be really hard to actually say you actually are retired. But it's so cool that she's able to come back. And
She looked so threatening around the ruck.
100%. Well, she's got such good footy head.
And it was so funny. At one point, one of her socks was right up, and one of them were, and then the other one was right down to her ankles. And Keely's like, "Oh, she's really looking her age now."
The person that is making it.
Run it,
Leave it
Keeley.
in, Charlie.
Anyway,
Nita
moving
will.
on.
No, actually, I just want to say one more thing about Nita. She was chatting about how, like, because at the end of last year, she was like, okay, I'm done. And like, she'd started training heaps and like not eating as much, because obviously she's, Keeley, you can relate, like small and petite naturally. So she has to work really hard to put on like size for the middle. And so when she was turning up to trainings at the start of the year, she's like, I was so like skinny. And I'm like, Keeley, this is what Keeley thinks she is.
But she's kilos ringing wet.
But like, you don't really think about that being like a, you know, girls having to maintain that weight, you know, and size for a small player in the middle. It's like, she's like, I was on the protein shakes and everything,
Yeah,
like
it's so
to just,
important.
because I'd lost it and now I was coming back. Like it was crazy. So shout out Nita.
Shout out, Nita.
Got to stop eating.
All right. Next game, Cows v Titans. Cowboys were very, very impressive. They got the win. But yeah, their squad balance and depth looked really, really good. I think they had by the looks of things, really good preseason.
Yeah.
But they just came in, played super confident. But yeah, like I said, I feel like they have really good squad balance.
They look really
played
fit.
exciting.
Yeah.
Really fit.
They've been training heaps. They've been doing their 6 a.m. sessions. I've
seen that on Instagram.
6 a.m. like gym, and then so they can get a really good field session in, and obviously it's bloody hot up there, so like that extra fitness as well. But they just really looked at home, didn't they?
Yeah,
Like,
and Abigail Roach did
Yes.
an interview after the game, she had a cracker and she said it felt like home, and that's genuinely what it looked like, that they were all really comfortable with each other. So I think they're going to be very, very threatening this year.
Yeah.
I loved Rosie Kelly in at 6.
Yes.
That was a nice positional change for her.
Well, they've got so much versatility too, like with Goldthorpe and Blackwell, who have all played fullback. They're playing wings. Rosie Kelly, like they can. I feel like if they're a team that if anyone goes down, sorry, get your words out, Millie, like they have a cover for it. Like Jakai's now at fullback, but center's wing, everyone can kind of cover everywhere.
And I feel like that's so important in our competition more than like any others because of how many injuries happen and only having 24 in that squad.
Yes.
Versatility is super, super important to have a good season and especially at the back end of the season.
For sure.
Do you have any thoughts on that game, Kez?
I actually didn't watch it, sorry.
It's all right. She was busy. It was straight after your game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was still a really
airport.
good game. I think it was an enjoyable game to watch.
Yeah.
Titans went down, but they've still, like Chapo's playing fullback, learning that role. I think once she gets the hang of things and more reps in there, she'll be really, really threatening there too. But yeah, keen to see how they go. I don't know if Brit's okay. She went on.
Oh, yes.
And I think they might have a couple injuries.
Yeah.
Which is not too
always not good to see.
And obviously they don't have Shannon Marto and Ivania Polito this year either. So big losses for them. They were two of their big players last year. Rounding it out on Sunday with the Roosters and the Warriors. So good to see the Warriors back in the comp. I was chatting to Ronnie Griffiths, their coach, who was our coach at the Knights, and he's just such a legend, the perfect person for their job. Like they haven't had a trial game. It's their first time they've played together. You guys obviously were out there playing against them, but I feel like they are only going to go like next level.
How did it feel out there?
Well, I said that after the game. I'm so glad we got them early.
Yeah.
I know we've
because
got them round 9.
They
Ooh, good
will just
luck.
get better and better. I feel for you, Kez.
I know, I was like, when I saw the draw, I was like, damn it, they'll find their feet by then.
Yeah,
Because
they're rolling well.
They're such good athletes. They've come from Union and like most of the girls. So they have a really good base and they're competitive and they played for the full 70 minutes. I don't think the scoreline justified the game. And they were just competing on everything. And it was obviously annoying to play against that, but they were great. And once they find their feeding a bit more and get a few more games in, they're going to be really, really good towards the back end of the season.
Yeah, really
And
impressive considering they didn't have a trial as well.
Exactly.
Like, I think a trial, especially when a lot of people are coming from Union, would have been so helpful.
It was
for
their
them.
first game of rugby league for some of them.
A lot of them. So the fact that they came in and played like that, they are like exactly what Koenig said. They're just going to get better and better and better.
And it was really hard to do, a game plan against them at the Roosters. We're very clear with our game plan and we have a clear role. But it was sort of
No
strange
vision on it.
There was nothing to do, just sort of the skills each player had. And so Strangey sort of left it up to us and we like, you're actually going to have to figure it out on the run. There was comms coming down. But it was a really tough one to come up against with no video.
Yeah.
But they'll be really kicking butt around.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that. And then obviously watching them on the weekend and they were, as you said, kept turning up and the more the more time they get to spend together, and the more they get to play, by round 9, they're going to be firing. So I'm
And
excited
they've
for
got
that.
their first home game. I was a
that'd
little
be
bit
so
like,
cool.
I would have loved to see them have a home game for round 1 so that, they could have had that support. But, the flip side of that is they've had a game now. Now they get to play a double header back in Auckland. It's sold out and it's like they get to actually build on something and work on something.
And you know what? On the weekend, the crowd was so loud for them. I think they were cheering for the Warriors the whole time and not us at our home ground. Like,
Come on, Roosters.
Seriously, when they scored, I was like, okay, is there any Chookies fans in the stadium right now? It was crazy. So I'm really excited to see them at
imagine
home.
running out to that.
That'll be
That'll be so
special for
cool.
them,
So all the best to the Warriors this weekend.
Go
They take
Warriors.
on the Eels.
Yes.
That'll be good.
Yeah, well, that rounds us out for the round 1 review.
Yes. Should we pick our Westpac winners and who we think will win this week?
Yeah.
I am 2 from 6. I'm shocking.
Yeah, honestly, that wasn't my best either. So we're just going to quickly touch on.
Hard to know. Kez, you can pick who you think's going to win. West Tigers, Bulldogs.
Guys, I think I'm 4 from
Tigers.
Nice. Yeah, you are.
Tigers, Dogs.
Come on, guys. Back us in.
Tigers.
I think I want to back
I'm
the
going
Bulldogs.
I'll go Tigers for you, Kez.
Thanks, Koenig. True friend.
I'm thinking about it. Let me.
I think it'll be a really close game. No. That is so mean.
Nah,
I
actually,
really don't know.
Hey, we were
Genuinely?
paying $6 on the weekend.
No, you know what?
Now it's come rounding into $3.78.
I'm gonna go Tigers.
I'm going
You know
Tigers
what?
for home game.
I'm going Tigers home game. Feel like you're going to get a meat pie too, and I want that celebration. This at the camera anyway. Yep, that's my pick.
Yep.
Tigers.
Are you going Bulldogs, Mill?
Okay,
You
just
dog.
because you guys have all gone
No,
Tigers.
that's not how this works.
Yeah, I'm still saying. I just think Bulldogs will really like. It seems like their team is just already so established, like
Yeah.
with even being a new team, and I just feel like you guys will take a little bit longer to find your feet. I don't know.
Worst friend in the world.
Friend ever.
Anyway, it's going to be really awful if you get that wrong. Okay, next game.
But I think you'll play really well and get a try to.
You can't come
Raiders-
back with that.
home game again. Shout out Raiders, buddy. Gio saying
Raiders and Sharks.
hate
This
that
is
This one will
gonna
be an interesting one because they're both coming off losses.
I have
Sugar.
Sharkies.
Yeah, I'm going to
You
say
got
Sharks.
Sharks.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to go Raiders, I think.
Well, come on. We need certainty here. Come on, Koenig.
What are you going, Mill?
I'm going Raiders.
What are you doing, Kez?
She said Sharks. We're just waiting on you.
Okay, I'll go.
It'll be really tough though, I reckon,
this
because
is
it's
a really
obviously
hard
home game for
one.
them.
Yep. Sharks have lost Minna too. Oh,
Far out.
sucks.
Thinking of
Okay,
you now.
I'm gonna go Sharkies.
Nice. All right. We're playing next.
All right,
Let's
Kez, who are you
Roosters,
picking? Us or Dragons?
I'm
I'm not going to be offended if you say Dragons.
No, Roosters.
Okay.
Where is it at?
It's at Jubilee.
Ooh, how you feel?
Cogra.
It's like a home game for you.
Well,
Sort of.
nope.
I think
Allianz is my
Dragons will be.
That,
The Dragons are a better team than they were last year.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And coming off that win last week, I'm going to go Roosters, of course.
I reckon that's going to be a really great game.
We
Yeah.
also have
Like-
a young Tasha Girl debut.
Yeah, shout out to Logan.
Logan. Oh my
Very-
God.
How good
very
is it
exciting.
seeing like the young girls coming through
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
She's come in for Frez because Frez
oh yeah, how is
has that horrible history
Dislocated
of her elbow. Oh,
That looked so.
She's so tough, man.
she's literally she's a mad woman. She's
She's
so
a mad
tough.
woman.
She literally still got the ball down, but her foot just went out. So like that had obviously happened in the air and she was still putting the ball down with one hand with the tiniest hands in the world.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
yes, just quickly on Logan Fletcher, who's coming in. Very lucky I got to coach her this year in Tasha Gale.
That's special for you, Keels.
Mean Corbs. We're very excited that she's coming in, but
Yeah.
she is
Proud mum?
a proud mum. Yeah, she's a freak though. Like, she's got so much potential. She played fullback for us at Tasha.
And she wasn't one of our dev girls. It was an injury replacement.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a.
She's just turned
Yeah.
18 too.
Just turned 18. yeah.
So it's very, very lucky that she's been in here. She comes to usually just one session a week.
I was going to say she's just come in for the week. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she was coming to like one a week, one training session. So I think to get the call to say you're debuting this week is pretty
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Very well deserved.
Very well deserved. She's,
And Keeley kind of says she's like a mini Chapo,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tall, like just got that natural ability to like
yeah, definitely like
good in the air.
very good in the air, like tall, big body. Anyway, she's one to watch. Next game, we've got Cows home game again, the Knights. So Knights got to travel. I'm going Cows on that
Cowboys.
one.
gonna go
Although I think it'll be really, really tight game.
I think I'm going to go Knights in that
Ooh,
one.
I'm going cows.
Yeah, I'm going
I think they're
opposite
the
you guys in the whole time. You're going Cows? Okay.
home game.
Yeah.
Next game, Warriors at v Eels. We spoke about Warriors home ground. I'm going to
really
back the
hope
Warriors.
I'm going to
Warriors.
back the Warriors too.
I'm back on Warriors too.
Yeah.
Even though it was obviously coming off that great win, I feel like it's just more for like, I just want the Warriors
Yeah.
to win,
Yeah.
you know, at
Yeah.
home.
I feel like they'll be really both powerful through the middle.
Yep.
That's what they're like. The only thing that's threatening is Rat in her
For the
kicks.
halves. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I'm back on Warriors.
And then Titans Bronx.
Ooh,
That
local
one's
derby.
on the Gold Coast at Seabus. I am back in the Bronx there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll back
But I think
Bronx.
the Titans will be a totally different team than they were last week.
Yeah. I agree. I've got Bronx.
Yeah, I'll go Bronx.
Same.
Beautiful. So that rounds out round 2 predictions. Just before we wrap up the pod, we probably should have given you the heads up, Kezie, but we do a little recommendation of the week.
Yeah, we'll go before you.
What
And
does
if
that
you
even mean?
just
What are you
anything you think is
recommending?
cool, anything.
Like something that you love.
It could be a product. It could be a show. It could be like go and get your, I don't know, skin checked, anything.
Yeah. Go get that fungus off your bottom of your foot
Yeah.
that you've been doing.
For
Are
me,
you speaking from experience, Keeley?
Yeah, I've heard about that from you guys.
my recommendation of the week is a new series that I've started watching because
Such a series.
I don't really have anything else at the moment. Yeah, it's because I'm not training. It's like I've got to put something on. It's called The Better Sister. You guys would actually love it. It's a bit like, ooh,
I'll add it to
thriller,
the list.
bit of scary. Who killed? You know, it's
You don't like scary
I don't usually like
movies?
scary. I know. I usually watch it like when it's a little bit light still and Adam's up
day.
because I don't like if all the lights are off and Adam's asleep. I'm like, but
The Better
it's
Sister.
like, oh my god, I think it's got Jessica Biel in it. Like it's good. So that's my
okay.
reco, The Better Sister.
Nice.
Sugar.
My reco of the week is it's NAIDOC week, so
Oh yay!
get down to a community event.
Nice.
It's a fun week.
Where would you find, you just search stuff? Like,
Yep, search in your local community. There's lots of things happening around Sydney. On Friday, there's an event at Redfern. Lots of stores, fun games. There'll be an NRL activation there, throwing a footy. So yeah, if you're into your footy.
And you've been heavily involved. You volunteer and work in this space a lot within the club to get the boots sorted out and get everyone painted boots. Is that for this weekend?
Not for this weekend. Boots for a Brighter Future is for our Indigenous round, which is 6 and 7.
Oh, okay.
It aligns with the boys, and that's Connor's foundation. So yeah, that's really exciting things to come. Our boots at the Roosters, both men's and women's, they'll be painted by school kids that Connor runs these
Nice.
programs through.
Yeah.
I think the schools are on the Central Coast. So yeah, it's really exciting. He partners with, I think, us and maybe Newcastle, someone else. So only a few clubs will be painted by these kids, and then a few boots get auctioned off and all that money goes back towards his foundation, which he set up to raise money for suicide prevention in community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Nice, Koenig.
Well, my recommendation is creatine gummies.
You were like, I've got the best recommendation. I'm writing it down so I don't forget.
I don't think I said it was the best. Okay, so they're little push gummies. ASADA approved.
Yeah.
Is this my camera?
The brand's
ASADA
called
approved.
Push.
Push. All different flavours. Koenig's been getting them. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Koenig.
they're a New Zealand brand. And you're supposed to have 3 gummies a day, which is 5
Keeley has like
grams.
7.
She has like 7 servings a day. There's literally none left in the tub.
Shut up. Okay.
Maybe if they didn't taste so good.
Yeah, well, they do taste really good. I will say on hard training days, I have 2 lots. 1 in the morning, 1 at night. Thank you very much.
I reckon.
No wonder why you're sitting a little
No,
bit
I
heavy.
don't, because you know what happens. You saw what happened to me last time I had too much creatine.
What happened?
I literally shut myself. Like genuinely
She was
had
pissing
to
water out of her
like
eyes.
sit on the toilet all day.
So she
because I
would
tried to make this
she would
concoction.
make us up a creatine. She's like, does anyone want a creatine collagen? We're like, yeah, sure. She would put in the amount of water, but would swap the ratio. So like it was like this much creatine. It was like paste.
I
So
was
the
trying to
creatine that she
load.
had, you needed to have it 3 times a day.
She just would have it all at once.
So she loaded it all at once, and it was like
Plus
half
more.
a glass
yeah. It
of
was
the powder, and it was like a paste. And when she drank it, and then the next day we had training, she was on the toilet right up until we had to leave. Like couldn't get off the toilet because
No, at midnight, my
like,
stomach started
all
going.
night and all morning, all day the next day until
you learnt
about
your lesson.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, now she's just pumping the gummies.
No, that's why no more than 2 serves of the gummies. That's it, you know? Otherwise, big trouble. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Not worth it, but very good for cognitive function too. So if
Right.
you're a little sleep sleep
Yes.
deprived. That's the word. Yeah, really good to have. So
Kez, did you have a reco? Otherwise, it's all right.
I've been thinking about this whole time. I'm going to say go and reach out to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while and go have a coffee with them.
Oh,
that's so nice.
nice. You know what? Let's all take that on board for next week. Let's do
Alright.
that, okay? Then come back and see who you.
That was
go
aimed
out
at
with.
Keeley for messaging me this morning to have a coffee with me, but she didn't.
did you message me?
No, because you don't reply to my
Ditto.
messages.
Don't worry. She literally doesn't reply to anyone. She's got in her diary like on the 12th of August, I've got to call this person back. I'm like, just call them back now. Like, she's still like that.
Don't get angry.
We thought her meds would have made it better.
It's a record.
Yeah, don't take it personally. She doesn't.
Because
I
I was
know, I'm
actually
only
here early
staring
and I
at
got a coffee by myself. So
It's fine.
All right. Last
But we are
thing-
going to do recovery one day.
Yep.
Yes. Last thing I just wanted to wrap up with, and because you guys are all here, we are starting back with our 5-week game changer programs for trainer group. And obviously you guys have been there and helped me set them up from the get-go and always assisted and run the programs yourself as well. So just wanted to say we've got more programs that are coming out at New South Wales, at the Centre of Excellence, Sydney Roosters on the Central Coast, Cronulla Sharks.
Let me know when they
Newcastle.
are in Sydney Olympic Park because I live
Yes,
very
yeah,
close.
okay. You're signed up. You're on the New South Wales programs.
Happy to help.
So they're all kicking off in the next few weeks, end of July, start of August, and they're all thanks to Westpac helping young adults get back into the community, active in the community, and young adults with disabilities and accessibility requirements. And we just use sport to be able to bridge that gap between that inclusion side of things and make them feel like they belong. And I'm so lucky to have not only all of your support and helping run those, but Westpac's as well. So I'll be calling you up, Keeley. I'll have to call you through someone else to
Yeah.
lock you in
Do you
for
have
a
a
couple of
PA?
sessions.
No, but if I was rich, that's pretty much the first thing I'd get. PA /
Koenig's
cleaner.
PA.
I am.
And I'll make Koenig put them in your diary.
Thank you.
Yeah, some days. So
I'm a diary girl too.
yeah, they'll be coming up and can't wait to.
And sorry,
get
just where do
started.
people get information if they're interested?
You can get information on Instagram. Instagram's probably the most updated one where we put all our info because I am website illiterate and I need to sort out the website. But yeah, Instagram will have flyers and we'll put it out in different community groups and with the clubs as well. So yeah, or just get in touch with us on Say Less and I'll point you in the right direction.
Yep. Beautiful. Well, that was fun, guys.
Yeah, that was
guys.
a long. Charlie, how long was that pod?
Sure.
That's like double what we usually do.
Wow.
You
No,
guys
that
can
was-
talk.
Yeah.
You can talk, girl.
Yeah, literally, we were like, wrap her up.
Oh,
No, I'm
sorry.
kidding. kidding. Thank you so much
no
for coming
worries.
in. You've got captain's run tonight, playing tomorrow. You've always been, you're like everyone's best friend, I
Yeah.
reckon. Like, you're such a good person. And we're so lucky to have someone like you in our game. And
For a little longer.
oh,
Got us
a
for
lot
a little
longer.
longer.
I think
4
we'll
more
probably
years.
all be gone by the time this
Don't be silly. Keeley will be hanging on by a thread. She'll be like, she'll have like a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old like, Mom's got to go play footy.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you will.
Anyway,
That'll be me probably too, Keeley. Don't you
Yeah.
worry.
that's all good.
I'll be still
Anyway,
bloody 40 running around.
Yeah.
Maybe 50.
Josh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Christ.
All right. On that note,
Jesus Christ. We're going to be 50 by the time this is
We'll
wrapped
see you
up.
see you next week with our next guest. Thanks to
Bye.
Westpac.
Bye.